From the Ghost Tactical Production Studio, welcome to Tactical Tuesday, streaming live on YouTube and simulcasting as always on GunChannels.com. To check out our entire lineup of videos, podcasts, and live shows, please visit our website, www.ghosttacticalproductions.com. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. Happy Every Second Matters. We are live as always on YouTube and simulcasting as always over on GunChannels.com. And if you guys are not familiar with GunChannels.com is, can't help you at this point. Cannot help you. It's a great community started by G-Webs going on 6 years ago. It's, as I've said before, it's the water cooler of the Second Amendment. You guys, now G just jumped in. He says, what did I miss? Let's start over. G, you jumped in just in time, and I hope, Yankee doesn't get upset by you jumping ship on him, but, this is where the cool kids hang out.
He was so scared, he, went off air as soon as he figured out your show was starting. Boom, he went right off.
The shit out of him, We are live. It is Every Second Matters, guys. We're going to have a great time discussing all things 2A. If you guys want to, please, if you have any questions, tag one of us out in the chat. If you want to email to us, live@ghosttactical.us, or you can text it to 530-364-4678, and we will get your questions on air and answer them as well as we can. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm working with half a deck up in the brain situation, so I can only answer what I can. But while you're out there, I want to say thanks everybody for watching in live. Go ahead and thumbs those up and push that subscribe button and the notification bell if you're out there. If you're watching or listening in replay, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. We hope you guys have a good time. Tonight, we're just going to talk Every Second Matter stuff, maybe a little bit about the NRA show coming up and what's going on at the state and federal level with gun bills, whether good or bad. So we're going to say hello to our distinguished panel. We've got from Ohio, we've got the host of The Right of the People on Friday nights, one of my favorite shows out there. It's Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. What's going on, Budget?
Hey, Ghost, thanks for the invite. Not much, just actually finished up a knife tonight. Matter of fact, I'm putting the final coats of tongue oil on the handle right now.
Oh, nice. What kind of knife did you make?
Here, let me turn my camera on.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Some people made from a farrier's rasp. Just a little camp knife.
That is pretty.
Well, I have a little bit more work to do to it, but as far as refining the edge, but just got done with this today.
Now, did you literally forge that yourself, or is that an existing blade that you made your own?
I made it via stock removal with a grinder. I did use my forge to heat it up and quench it and do the heat treat and stuff, but as far as hammering it out, no, I'm not at that point yet. Okay, I'm a knife maker, not a knife smith, and I'm really just a guy that makes knives, not really a knife maker, if you know what I mean.
Right.
All this is documented on Instagram. All this is documented on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So then you've got my address, right? You can just package that up anytime and send it out.
And from South Carolina, the magic man himself, Michael Woodland from M-W Tactical. What's up, homie?
Not too much. What's going on with you? Had a rough weekend.
The guy's been sleeping for a week now.
Man, I had a busy weekend this weekend. Didn't go how I planned it to go, but I still had fun.
What? No. How was the weekend? You had a match, or you were not competing though? You were an RO? Is that right?
I was doing both. I was competing and I was an RO.
How'd it go?
The match was fun. Everything went good until I started having malfunction after malfunction with my my ammo. So the ammo that I got was for a long action handgun. And so in other words, the ammo was for a race gun, not a regular, so
ouch. That's Well, mistakes are made, and you will hopefully learn from it.
Yes. So like I said, next competition. Yeah, next competition is next weekend. So oh man.
There you go.
Yep. So it's coming. It's gonna come back. Trust me.
Well, good. Well, thanks for coming on the show. And from Arizona, the Godfather himself. What's up, G?
So
Thanks for the invite.
Mike, you're getting a little echo there. I don't know. I hear my voice there. Maybe it's just I'm hearing voices. I don't know. It could be. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm a little. Anyways, from Texas, we have the tactical virus. Leprechaun himself. What's up, Clover?
I'm doing pretty well now.
Yeah. So if guys don't understand, Clover's had a couple days now, and
4 days.
Well, let's hear, because it has a happy ending.
This story to take a half hour. Are you sure you want to hear this story?
Well, just give us the cliff notes.
The cliff notes is I've been trying to get a new phone, and I've been told 18 different stories by 15 different stores, and had 13 different people give me attitude. And then I've driven, I don't know. I've drove all day today. I literally drove for 6 hours or something, probably total or something today, running all around trying to get
the gas you paid.
Yeah, I tried to get this stupid phone. So yeah, it finally happened. It didn't happen seamlessly without incidents, even when it happened. I guess where the story was at is when I walked into the store because I'd called them ahead of time. They were the only store literally within 2 hours of me or something that had one. And the guy gave me his name, and he said he put my name on it, and not a problem. And I get down there, and he kind of is ripping on me when I walk in, and basically tells me he saved the wrong phone, put the wrong phone back or something, right? And
he thought he was a funny man,
and he was trying to be funny, and he corrected himself real quickly when he seen the look on my face when he pulled that. He was like, no, bro, no, I'm just kidding. No, man, it's all right.
He was
dude, I was fixing to come unglued on you. So then they go to help me, and the guy gets back there. I wanted the 128 gig, and he's like, "Oh, we got the 512, which is like $300 more or some kind of crap, and all this other stuff." And I'm like, "Wow, really?" And he's like, "No," he said, "Let me go look." And I'm like, "I appreciate it if you'd go look." And he come back out. He said, "It must be your lucky day." And I said, "Obviously, you ain't been riding around with me. It ain't my lucky day, that's for sure. It may turn that way here pretty quick, but." And anyway, they had one, and then he was activating it, and he accidentally activated my son's phone instead of mine. So that completely wiped out my son's cell service capability. So once he finally got that corrected and me in my new phone, then he had to program a SIM card that I had to drop off on the way home. I had to drop off with my son. So now he's got to transfer SIM cards and all that. So the ordeal has not just, it's spilled over to multiple people.
Man, this phone better be worth it.
God, I'll give you an update on it. I haven't, unfortunately. I know you asked when I popped in. He was like, "How is it?" And I'm like, I picked it up and I've been driving. I literally drove up and jumped in your chat. So I don't know. I've made like 2 calls with it, and that's it.
Well, let's get a quick
what phone is it?
Go ahead, G.
What phone is it? What kind of phone did you get with?
Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus.
Yeah, I got the 9 Plus last Friday and love it. So I'm assuming the 10 Plus is going to be great also. But let's say hello to everybody out there in the YouTube chat before we get rolling. You had Gun Loving Grandpa Stanley out there, and Gizzard Gary is out there. What's up, Gizzard? Outsider, Jason Stewart, Josan, WB, D-Temps out there, JJ's out there, Seven Wonders, Trauma Jock, Texas Blade, Southpaw RX, the Gun Cleaners. What's up, Rod? WB, Ozzy Osbourne's out there. I keep saying Ozzy Osbourne. 40 and slip, I guess. I think I said Trauma Jock, but if I didn't, Trauma's out there. Guitar Man Pete, Drucifer, Gun Websites. And I just saw some Kingpins out there, Mike's out there, and in here, Kinky Sphincters out there. Love that name. What's up, Kinky Kingpins out there, and TDR's out there. So, what we're going to talk about first off, guys, is obviously being every second matters. This is kind of something that started, I don't know, about 6 years ago, 2012, 2013, where a bunch of people decided that we shouldn't just every now and then be happy about the Second Amendment, but if we set a day every month to celebrate it and bring it to the light, it would help the awareness of the Second Amendment. And obviously, the second of every month is great. A lot of people do different things. Some people will open carry. Some people will, whatever you do to celebrate every second matters. Thank you for jumping in. But what we want to talk about tonight are some of the bills that are out there, both positive or negative at the state and federal level. And I know that everybody is familiar with many of the organizations, but if you're not familiar with the Firearm Policy Coalition, it's a wonderful little company or organization that started a couple years ago with Brandon Combs and all these guys. And their website is firearmspolicy.org. And I want to put this out in the chat. And they've got, if you go over there, if you're ever wondering what kind of legislation's out there, if you go to this website and at the very top of it, you'll see Take Action. And from there, there's a drop-down box that you can literally find out positive and negative gun legislation at the federal level, or it will drop down for each state to find out what's going on in your state if you're unaware of what's going on. And they'll say, should you be opposed to this, or, should you be for this? And they also will kind of do like GOA, but they were the first ones that I remember that they'll actually have a template that you can take action here, and you push this link and it will find out who your representatives are, and you can send emails with their template to your representatives, which is, I think, a wonderful thing. Now, if you don't like the kind of the template that they're doing, you can utilize that and then make your own, which I mostly do. Is I'll kind of take their template and all that, and I'll just kind of make it my own, so it's not the same email that we're getting from a lot of different people. But it is a wonderful organization, Firearms Policy Coalition. It's firearmspolicy.org. And please go check them out. Like I said, the Take Action tab, you can find out everything you got going on. Let's see here. Was it gold? I'm not sure what Kingpin was referring to. I don't know. Is what gold? I don't know. But let's go through some of these things.
iGold. Illinois gun owners legislation.
The Illinois gun owners. Yeah. Yeah, that was last week, wasn't it? Anybody go to that? Anybody in Illinois?
No.
I hope it was a good turnout. I hope it was good, but I actually hadn't heard anything from anybody that might have gone. Did Dano go? Do you know?
I do not know.
I do not know. All right. But let's just kind of go through these. And on the federal level, I'm going to start at the federal level because we can go. If you guys have any questions about your state, go ahead and put out there, say, hey, what's going on in Connecticut or wherever, and we'll go to there. But let's start out at the federal level, and you've got HR 820. It closes the quote-unquote gun show loophole tour, and it's from Representative Maloney from New York, obviously a Democrat.
Hold on. Okay. It's supposed to stop the quote-unquote gun show loophole. I hope it isn't specifically going after my tour, because I didn't do nothing to that guy.
Well, I think what he's doing is he's a little jealous because he sees you riding around with Mello all over the country promoting freedom, and he probably grew up in a household that doesn't really like freedom. So I think he is trying to stop your tour because he doesn't want you to allow yourself to enjoy freedom. So that's on you. Let's oppose it so that G can still go on his tour. How about that? So this was HR 820. And they're basically saying that Representative Maloney is implying that somehow law-abiding gun owners are getting around the law by being able to buy them at gun shows. And if you've ever been to a gun show, most people are not going to let you just buy a gun without a 4473 if you're buying it from a vendor. So I think what they're trying to do is the private sales and all of that. But once again, HR 820. Do you guys have any comments on HR 820? No? All right. Let's move on.
Gun shows are a ripoff anyway, and they're always hot because they don't have good air conditioning. I don't even go to them. I don't need them that much.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and like apparently there's like this very small, very quaint gun show this weekend in Tulsa. Have you guys heard about this? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I go there for the beef jerky.
Beef jerky? Oh, okay. Yeah.
The crystalline collectibles, little
I
figurines.
like going for the $17 Philly cheesesteaks personally. Really, really good.
And then the exercise, parking quarter-mile away just to walk in and then get a cheesesteak and walk back to the car.
And what we're joking about, guys, is the Wanamaker gun shows this weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Saturday and Sunday. The largest gun show in the world. It is inside a building that covers 11 acres, and well over 4,000 tables will be at this gun show. And if you haven't ever experienced it, it should be on your bucket list. It's unbelievable. You can pretty much find whatever you're looking for there. If you can't, then you're not looking hard enough. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while to go through all the tables. I think what they say, if you go to every table throughout the 2 days, you have what, like 17 seconds or something like that to spend at each table?
Yeah, it was seconds.
Yeah, so GunChannels is going to be out there covering. So let's kind of go to someone said earlier, is anything going on in Arkansas? No, there was a bill that was trying to get some legs about a month ago, and it was I want to say it was their version of a red flag law, and I don't even think it got a hearing inside the committee, so it was shot down pretty quickly. Good thing about our legislation is I think 78% of the legislators in Arkansas, both in the House and the Senate, are pretty pro-gun. So there's not going to be a whole lot going on here in Arkansas. We're very, very lucky about that. That being said, Guitar Man Pete says Texas HB 357 getting blocked in committee. Clover, do you know what HB 357 is? I can go look it up if you need me to.
It's a constitutional carry.
Oh, okay. So I knew that you had said that it was going to be up, but you thought it might be the next legislative session before it really kind of.
I think it will be. Here's what's, and I'm not saying don't call your representatives, because I've been all over mine's rear end, because he's one that kind of likes to crawfish on things. You got to watch him, and he's going. I think he's going to be in trouble along with a lot of other ones next election cycle. But Texas has introduced some version of that for probably the last 2 decades, every single session. And we've gained traction and gotten stuff as far as our license to carry and additions to that, and removal of it, and additions of perks, and then removals of restrictions to that for the longest. And we're about to the point that the only other thing to do would be to go constitutional carry. And for the longest, everybody has hid behind these quote unquote Republicans, have hid behind the Speaker of the House, Strauss. Well, he's not in there anymore, so they can't hide behind him now. And for the longest, we've had this sneaking suspicion that, they would, we can't buck Strauss because, we'll get removed from our committee things, and then we won't, we got to try to do this from the inside, blah, 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 blah. And, at the back of our mind, we've always thought, okay, we've got some pretty weaselly politicians that are probably not who they say they are, and they're blaming Strauss. And I think that's what's went on with some of these yahoos. But the problem is, come election time, they don't have Strauss to hide behind now. So, everybody's going to be looking and going, okay, you can't blame Strauss. Why did you do this? And, if they've got any kind of an opponent, they're going to lose. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that we'll get it this session. I mean, I think at this point it's a long shot. But it's coming, because I think those that are blocking it right now are going to be history because of it.
Now, Jones out there wants to know, is open carry or constitutional carry legal in Arkansas? And that's an interesting question. It's been going on for about 4 or 5 years now. There was a court decision that many, including the governor and the attorney general, are interpreting, that says basically there was a decision on transportation of firearms from county to county without being concealed and all of that. this is about 4 years ago. The judge made a ruling and a decision that basically says that police cannot detain or arrest an Arkansas citizen for simply having a gun out in the open. There has to be intent. And so that kind of threw everything kind of craziness in Arkansas a few years ago. Well, this past year or so, Governor Hutchinson and the Attorney General Rutledge, she came out and said, and the governor also came out, but she said that her interpretation is that open carry is legal. The governor has come out in this past last year as well and instructed the state police and all law enforcement within the state of Arkansas that no one can be detained, arrested, or even harassed by law enforcement simply for having a gun on their person, whether it's concealed or not. There must be absolute intent used to cause harm to the public before they can be approached. That's from the governor. That being said, so open carry, there is no law in the books, but the decision and the rulings and interpretation of all of our lawmakers is that open carry should be legal. Now they need to get a law in the books that says so. As far as constitutional carry, as you know, a couple years ago, we passed the enhanced carry permit, which now allows you to carry on state college campuses, within restaurants and bars, should you choose to. Why you would, I don't know. And also, basically including Capitol buildings, government buildings, basically anywhere except for where there is a gun-free zone. Now, obviously, these places also are able to prohibit quote-unquote guns by placing signs at every entrance saying firearms prohibited in this property. But the enhanced lets you get there. What they just did last month or 2 months ago was all damn near unanimously pass a bill, what is now law. Governor Hutchinson has already signed it, that cut the fees in half for concealed carry. Before, for your first license, if you don't have a license, your first one's $100 for 5 years. And then when you renew it, it was $50. He cut those, slashed them in half. So now your initial license is now going to cost you $50 for 5 years. And your renewal is only $25 for 5 years, which is basically $5 a year. The cool thing about the enhanced is it's a $15 fee, but it's worth your lifetime. As long as your, your normal concealed carry license is valid, you'll never have to pay another dime for your enhanced. So that's a cool thing. That being said, what they've done is they have tried to bring constitutional carry back in Arkansas for years. And for some reason, it just never kind of really got the legs. So what they decided a few years ago was kind of play the long game and inch by inch get us to where now we have the enhanced carry, which basically lets you carry wherever you want, except for on public schools. Now you've cut our fees in half to basically now all they're doing is covering the expense of the materials to make your license and all of that. So the next obvious evolutionary step is constitutional carry. Now, I've talked to my representative on several different occasions and said, why isn't anyone going ahead and try it now? And he said, well, we just passed this. Now we're going to spend the next 2 years, because in Arkansas, every other year is a legislative session, and the years in between is a budgetary session. So we'll have to wait till 2021 for the next legislative session. But now they'll be able to collect data over the next 2 years of sessions, come back and say, now we need to go constitutional carry. So I really do think that Arkansas will have constitutional carry in 2021. That's just my hope. I can't promise you that, but if you're in Arkansas, it's about as good as you're going to get right now as anyone's in the country is going to have, as far as having to have a permit. And I do think that constitutional carry will come. Sorry for going on that, but that was a long answer to a very good question here in Arkansas. Hope that answered you. Anybody else in a panel in their home states, is there anything going on, good or bad, within the states that we need to know about?
Ohio just introduced a constitutional carry bill.
Will it go through, you think?
I believe so. I
Good.
believe so. I know that our local newspapers and the usual suspects on the left in our state are screaming bloody murder, screaming, and there'll be blood in the streets. It'll be the Wild West, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But look at all the other states where that has happened. And then this is an argument I make pretty much on the daily nowadays, that none of that is proven true in the other 16 states where constitutional carry is the law. There's no reason to believe that Ohioans would have it be any different. And
that's awesome. I hope
I
I
think it's great.
Has the governor mentioned whether if it comes to their desk they'll sign it? I mean, has there been any kind
The governor's statement was a giant nothing burger. He said that he's watching it and he looks forward to, he's interested in seeing how the legislation goes. So he really hasn't indicated one way or the other.
pro gun or not? He's only been in office, what, a few months or something like that? Or
he's only been in office for a few months, but he was our attorney general. And as attorney general, he filed amicus briefs that were pro-gun and did a lot to streamline our concealed carry process and whatnot. So I don't necessarily think he's going to be opposed. I don't necessarily think he's going to be for it. I think that if it gets to his desk, he'll probably sign it. If it doesn't get to his desk, he's not going to be heartbroken.
Right, I hear you. Now he was a Kasich attorney general, correct?
Correct.
Now I know Kasich at one time, I mean, early on, maybe he was relatively pro-gun, was he not? And then all of a sudden, like he flipped a switch, or was that all smoke and mirrors?
Kasich voted for the 94 assault weapons ban when he was a senator.
Okay, so he was running on a Republican ticket, but he was anti-gun. That's interesting.
Yeah, and he misrepresented that. Oh well, I've changed my position, et cetera, when he was running for governor.
Right.
And enough people foolishly bought that.
Yeah. Now I want to see something up here. I saw something I thought was pretty cool. I need to go find it because I can't remember who said it. But it was about Ohio or Illinois. I'm sorry. Okay, so Ozzy out there said Illinois' Ford card has been ruled unconstitutional. It could affect other states that have permits to buy guns. I hadn't heard about this. That could be pretty big. The Ford card has kind of been the template for other states, and if it's been ruled unconstitutional, that could be interesting. I've never had to get a permit to buy a gun. Has anyone here ever had to do one of those? I don't think so. I think everyone here is a pretty free state.
Not in Ohio.
I had to buy one gun that way. My first gun I bought that way.
Oh, so you're still in Illinois or what?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that like? I mean, the process of getting the Ford card is how long does that process take, or did it take for you? Do you remember?
No, but it's basically like if you have to go stand in a line to eventually get kicked in the nuts.
So basically, it's just a big deterrent. Hopefully they're saying, that people will just say it's not worth it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, nothing about it is good. It's completely horrible.
Well, it's interesting. I hope that being ruled unconstitutional will be a good thing for other states that might have to have a permit. We all know about California's high capacity magazine ban being deemed unconstitutional. So let's see how that plays out. I heard stories, and I don't know if they're true or not, but I heard stories that the gun shops there in California are staying open to very, very late compared to what they used to, just because there's so many people coming in, and that's a wonderful thing. And I hope that I was listening to Yankees chat. I don't know if it was you, G, or it was Matt that brought it up and said, yeah, just because this has happened, it's great, but let's really go after the roster now, which I think is an interesting concept because the California gun roster is very political and it's very money driven to get guns that are included on this roster. But do you think this, and I'll start with Clover on this, or Mike, if you haven't talked a little bit, do you think that the release of the 30-round magazine ban in California, is it as big of a thing from the outside? I know it's a big deal in California, but does it change things nationwide? Is California getting a good win give everybody hope, or is it or what do you think that does for the gun community right now? Because I think it's positive.
I think it's positive as well, but I also think it sets the precedent. But just like anything else, I believe somebody's going to attempt to find a loophole and try to reverse it.
Well, it's obviously going to have to go. It'll probably end up in a Supreme Court, I'd imagine. I know the Supreme Court usually does not like to hear cases unless there are decisions or beliefs or hearings that are against each other. There's opposite throughout the system. There has been different opinions. Now that there seems to be a different opinion, it would be very, very interesting for this to go to the Supreme Court. And we're going to find out if it does. Will they hear it? Because that could be huge, not just for California. That could be huge for a lot of the Northeast. That could be huge for a lot of states that have capacity bans on magazines. So I'm looking forward to see. I hope it doesn't go to the Supreme Court because no one's going to challenge it. But I think there are going to be people that challenge it. And if they go, I'd like to see what happens because I think that there's a good chance of the Supreme Court that we have right now. It could turn out very positive for not just Californians, but for everyone. But more importantly, I'm really happy for the Californians. They've kind of just gotten the shit kicked out of them for the better half of 30 years. And it's nice, even though it may not be a huge win, it's pretty damn big for Californians just to get a win. So, yeah. And Rod says the Ninth Circuit will reverse this, and that's fine. But now that we have precedent of someone saying that it's unconstitutional, now it gives the Supreme Court a reason to hear this because, like I said, if every court along the way agrees, Supreme Court's not going to hear it probably. But now that there's dissenting opinions, I think this sets up a really cool thing, a showdown at the OK Corral, no pun intended. But yeah, I'm really excited for California. That's awesome. Really, really like hearing the fact that at least there's a win out there, a nice win for California. I'm going to move on to some more bills unless anybody else wants to bring anything up about California, budget, Clover, anything. Man, y'all are quiet tonight. Fine.
Nope. Right. All I had was the fact that the Ninth Circuit will probably overturn it, and then we'll have to wait and see if the Supremes pick it up. But you already went there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like I said, the great thing about this right here, it does now show precedence that there has been an opinion or a ruling that it's unconstitutional, because that is the biggest thing for the Supreme Court to actually hear something, or at least maybe think about hearing, is there needs to be some dissenting opinion somewhere down the line. Because if everyone's saying it's the same thing, then it must be constitutional. What's up, Skips out there? What's going on? Glimtech's out there. Freedom for All's out there. So saying hello to some people that jumped in. So let's kind of go back over to FPC, and there is this is I want to talk to Clover about this one. This one's scary. I don't think it's going to have any legs whatsoever. But in Texas, I saw this one. It's HB 131. It authorizes gun confiscation without due process. HB 131 would allow law enforcement and family members petition a court to have your guns taken away without due process of law. That right there, how does that not even, I mean, how does this even get written with that line in there?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on in Texas, man?
it's not, this is where we've talked about this. I've talked about this before. We very seldom, like the California thing, for example, look at South Dakota, look at Kentucky, look at Oklahoma, right. Look at potentially Ohio, because from everything that I've seen lately, it's encouraging to hear Mike talk about that, because that's what I'm hearing too. I'm hearing that it's very likely to go through in Ohio. But we have a tough time accepting wins that are right in our face like that. We want to, I don't know. We're just always looking for the next battle, or looking over our shoulder for the next battle. And we need to be, but we also need to, sit around the campfire at night and relish the victories as well. And that's one thing that people seldom look at as far as victory, is they don't necessarily look at the bad bills that are defeated year in and year out. And in Texas, you get, oh God, 20 to 30, I would say, probably anti-gun garbage bills like that, that come through every session. Of course, we're every other year, but every session you get that gets shot down. So, people they look at it and they go, well, we didn't get this one pro gun bill through, but they don't look at how bad it could have been should 3 or 4 or 5 or half dozen of those anti-gun bills snuck their way through. And I think that's a tactic. I'll be honest with you. I think that's a tactical play as to why they do that, and they flood those bills like that in. Is not only do they have a chance, even if they don't stand a prayer, really, of those anti-gun bills passing, it ties up people from focusing on the pro-gun bills. You feel me?
Yeah. And I know that it's people just getting bills out there and they're getting their names on legislation. Once again, election years around the way, and for their base, they need to have their names on legislation. I get it, but my God, when you start talking about eliminating due process, you start talking about eliminating, I mean, it's fascinating to me, some of the bills that are being written. And there are some bills that are even anti-gun bills that are extremely well written at the state and the federal level, extremely well written. They're scary how good they're well written. But then there's some of them just like, huh? And it's like the summary of this is without due process. I mean, it's just like you're saying right there that you're taking away these rights of people. Someone was mentioning out there Colorado, and Colorado's got some interesting stuff. But I wanted to bring up one in Indiana, since we're going to be in Indiana in a few weeks. And you got to love this one. This is Senate 353 or 126, the multi-burst trigger activators ban. Love the title. This would ban multi-burst trigger activators or devices that directly or indirectly depresses, operates, or pulls the trigger of a firearm at a rate of speed that is greater than the rate of speed of unaided successful trigger depressions, operations, or pulls.
And
we said this so many times before that until, and there's no way to do this, but until that you define a baseline rate of fire, how are these bills even having a chance to sit there and say it's the rate increases that we're trying to ban? What is a normal rate increase?
Because
what you say it is, Jerry Mikulik is going to define what his finger can do naturally.
Well, yeah, and the argument against Mikulik is his finger is not a device; it's an appendage. But that's his saving grace, I guess. The reason is you're dealing with people that are uneducated on firearms. That's first of all, we know this, and then second of all, the demonization is it's the scary sounding part. That is the piece of plastic or metal. It's the scary sounding part that they have to demonize, right? They can't get into rate of fire because there's no way. I mean, a semi-automatic is a semi-automatic, one pull, one fire, right? It has absolutely nothing to do with, because one person can fire it faster than another person, depending on their dexterity, skill level, whatever God-given gift in the case of Mikulik or maybe Bob Munson or one of those old school guys. So
fastest draw ever, man.
Yeah, I mean, so there's no way to do that. So they put the focus on the item itself. It's kind of like it's the same way they do with demonizing firearms. They take an inanimate object and it's the boogeyman, and they give it a what was the name of the bill or what they called it? Good Lord, that was kind of over the top. Burst.
For this one in Indiana,
multi-burst
trigger activators ban.
I mean, we laugh because we're like, what the crap are you talking about? I've never seen that on any website I frequent that has firearm parts. Have I seen a multi-burst trigger activator? I've never seen such a thing.
I might have to come up with one to see if I can get it banned or not. It's unreal. Yeah, it's interesting. There's all sorts of stuff going on out there. I don't want to talk about some of these things as much as I don't want to give them the light of day just because it's funny, but I was going through this earlier today, just kind of looking at some of these bills across the country, and that one popped out to my head, and I was just like, what? So plus we're going to be in Indiana coming up and all that. So I want to talk a little bit about NRA real quick, since we're going to be up there in a few weeks and all that. And is everybody in the room? I don't know if G is going to be able to make it, but I think everybody else in the room is going to be NRA. Is that correct? Budget, you're going to be there, right?
You betcha.
And I know Mike.
I've had this plan forever. Had my hotel room bought months ago. I'm ready to go.
All right, so let's start with you, Budget, and say, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to at NRA? Is there specific products or companies, or are you just going to go there and kind of take it all in, or what's your game plan for NRA this year?
Yes. I mean,
all the above, right?
All of the above. As much as I can squeeze into it, what I'm looking forward to do is talking to some of the people. I mean, yeah, I'm planning to make contacts in the industry. I'm planning to do booth interviews. One of the things on my list is going to talk to Fred from Choate Machine and Tool, for sure. Couple other people. But really what I want to do is kind of get a sense of what the average Joe is thinking at the NRA meeting. I really want to do some attendee interviews and get kind of take their pulse. I think that's what I'm looking for the most.
Now, are you talking to the general public that are NRA members and kind of get their pulse? That's interesting.
Yes, because we hear, oh, I hate the NRA. Oh, I love the NRA. Oh, this, that. Yeah, they're the NRA, everything. I want to hear what's going on with the people who are actually there, their members. Are they happy with what's going on? Are they unhappy with what's going on? What do they think the NRA is doing well? What do they think the NRA should do different? I want to get, the finger on the pulse outside of our own little circles.
Yeah, I think that that'd be interesting because, I know how I feel, but I also have a couple friends that are NRA board members that I've talked to a lot and kind of getting the behind the scenes information. And I know people around here that are NRA members, and I've talked to them about it and asked them. I'm not trying to change their mind. Like, oh my gosh, why are you an NRA member? I've never approached them that way in a conversation, but I've asked them. I said, what about the NRA, makes it to where you want to support them, every year? And honest to God, most of it isn't that who we're supposed to support. And I think that that's almost an ignorant answer because they don't know what else is out there, and that's okay. But I asked them, I said, well, there are other organizations. They're like, I said, yeah, but the NRA is the strongest, so I might as well, support the strongest one. And I get that. I understand that. And I understand that that's an honest answer. Whether or not I like that answer or agree with that answer, it's an honest answer. And I don't know if that's everywhere, but around here, and a lot of people they don't get involved in the political sides. They don't understand that there's the GOA, the SAF, the FPC, and all these amazing organizations out there. They just know that if I'm a gun owner or I enjoy guns, I'm supposed to support the NRA. And it's probably been passed on generation to generation. That's just what their family does, is they all put the sticker on the back of the truck and all of that, NRA member. And so I can't blame them for that. And all I've tried to do is say, hey, at least you're supporting someone, but maybe if you're interested, you can look at a couple of these other organizations that are doing just as good, if not better, work in different areas of the fight. And yeah, I'll take a look at it. But for the most part, for me, at least around here, Budget, and I don't know what about up there, but everyone's just like, that's just kind of what we do. We always support the NRA. Isn't that who we're supposed to? And they're just not educated, I guess.
Same thing here. And I usually take the same tack you are with, hey, go ahead and support the NRA. If that's what you want to do, awesome. I'm a member. But I'm also a member of the Second Amendment Foundation. I'm also a member of the Gun Owners of America. I'm also a member of the Firearms Policy Coalition. Also a member of Ohio Carry. Also a member of Ohio Gun Owners. Take it a step further than that to help these other organizations because they're fighting the good fight too. And in some ways, and in some areas, a lot more effectively.
Yeah, I think that everyone kind of has their strong suit. I think the GOA, NRA are more the political stuff. But always the SAF are leaps and bounds better as far as the judicial and the
Oh
legal side
yeah,
of things.
I'm
Leaps and
looking
bounds.
forward to. I'm looking forward to trying to corner Alan Gottlieb for another interview too. I love that guy.
Well, speaking of Alan, let's bring in G here, and who knows Alan, has talked to him. Talked to him, I think, at SHOT Show quite a bit as well. But if as far as the NRA show, and I don't know if you're going to go this year, but in years past when you have gone, what has kind of been your game plan for NRA? Is it, and I know that you're not really into doing the booth reviews anymore. You're more of the activism side, but is the NRA a good place for trying to get the activism going because it's the NRA show, or is it something you just don't do there?
And that's a good question. NRA is more political than SHOT. So even though it's the NRA, and because it's the NRA, certain groups aren't going to be invited and won't show up or whatever. There's 20% of the floor space is devoted to nonprofits and clubs and collectors groups and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely an opportunity for all of those groups to get some coverage and to get interesting content from them, give them some reach. And then even though they don't have booths, a lot of the people from the organizations attend. And because it's the NRA and they're not strictly industry like SHOT Show or even some of the other industry things. I mean, seriously, even like Big 3 is happening this weekend. There's nothing political going on in Big 3 that I'm aware of. The other firearms events that happen that are like industry pseudo media events, they're rarely focused on politics. So except for gun rights policy, what else do you got? You got NRA. So yeah, it's dominated by NRA. I guess you got CCA, but I don't know what you got. CCA might budget's been there. So I don't know how much USCCA's been focused on 2A, but yeah, I mean, it's not the best thing in the world. It's not like it's the Gun Rights Policy Conference where you'll get nothing but politics and Second Amendment advocacy, but there's certainly some to be found there. And if you seek it out and you make arrangements, prior arrangements, people do attend NRA. It is the giant industry event. And you're right, I won't be going unless, I do have a lot of decks of cards and I have a lot of stuff on the store. So it's possible that, a bunch of people will go to the store and buy stuff. I mean, I'm only not going because of the lack of money. So, but, yeah, it's a long trip for Arizona.
Yeah, that would be a long trip. Mike, what about you? Do you have a game plan or an idea of what you're kind of wanting to get out of NRA, either on the NRA side of it or the expo, the show?
Like for me, it's just walking around, shaking people's hands, taking pictures, and just conversing with the people out there, both business and the public.
Okay, so like the public side of things, are you going to try to like budget is? Are you going to ask them what about the NRA, or are you just going to try to get to know people?
It's just for me, it's just people who follow my content. Just conversing with them, not so much doing the political stuff. For me, I honestly believe even though people feel like the NRA has done some stuff we all don't agree with, I still believe that we need the NRA because they are the ones that are, shielding, or as you can actually say, they're the speed bump to helping us keep our rights. And just like everything else, our other rights are being negotiated off, and this is just another measure of that same way. But I do believe that we need the NRA to help preserve, what we have right now.
I will tend to agree with the notion that the NRA is definitely the punching bag. It takes a lot of body blows for the other organizations to maybe outflank them. Regardless of my personal opinion on the NRA, I tend to agree that I think that the NRA to some extent needs to be relevant, whether or not it has the power that people think or should have. But I think the NRA needs to be relevant because they are very, very good at taking body blows for the rest of the community. So, yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I don't believe and agree with a lot of their politics, and I don't. It's more the ILA, not necessarily the NRA side, the education and training and historical side of the NRA. It's just the ILA arm of it. But unfortunately, that's what's become the NRA these days. They're the ones where all the money is, and it's filtered over there. But yeah, I would tend to agree with you that the NRA being relevant is important to the community because they do take a lot of the body blows for sure. Clover, what about you? You got a game plan or anything that you got going into Indianapolis?
I haven't devised much of a game plan yet. We got Tulsa coming up, and I'm gonna deal with it, and then I'll put together. But I've already went through the booth list or whatever, and made some notes and stuff like that. For me, it's several things. I mean, I've put out quite a few posts and said, hey, if you're going to be there, let's hook up. I mean, it's always good to, I don't know. I don't fanboy out on other people, and I certainly don't want people to fanboy out on me. That being said, if it's somebody that's out there in the chats or, be it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever it's at, and you're going to be there, it's always fun to get together like we do the GunChannels, G pictures or whatever, and get together and just mark the occasion, right? Because it's not every day you get to meet somebody from, across the country, several states over, whatever it might be. For some of us, it may be the only time we ever get to meet. And so that would be kind of cool, considering that we spend so much time together with each other online. So in that aspect of things, I really enjoy that. And of course, same way with other people that do content, right? Not just followers or viewers or stuff like that, but then spending time with those in the industry that we work with on a regular basis. That's also fun. And with NRA, it's kind of laid back. But then there's another aspect of NRA too, and that's something that I haven't really figured out and honed quite yet. But you go into SHOT Show, and SHOT Show is all business, and they're trying to line their stuff out for the year and all that kind of stuff. And then they got Ewood, and they got whatever the outdoor show, and a lot of them do, and they got several different things in between SHOT and NRA. So NRA is kind of like we're starting to wind down, we're starting to kind of chill a little bit, I think. So it's time to take those initial contacts that we made at SHOT Show, and at NRA, in a more comfortable, laid back environment, we can kind of pin them to the wall with, hey, here's our projects, and want to help us out working on these projects. This is what we've kind of got in mind, and maybe secure those deals for content, be it guest on the podcast or T&E, review type work or whatever it might be. And I think it's just a situation where they're a little more little more receptive to that. They're not a trash receptacle, but they're a little more receptive to that. My brain's fried, man. I've drove too much today. Anyway.
Yeah, well, before 8 o'clock comes around, I know we'll stick around for a little bit longer, but I know Budget's got to take off. So, Budget, thanks for coming in, brother. And I'm going to go ahead, and if you guys haven't checked him out yet, please go check out Friday night, Budget Guns and Gear, The Ride of the People. It's a phenomenal show. I love the show. But do you want to talk about where people can find you and what kind of projects you have coming up?
First off, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. Love being on this show. Second, you can find my stuff, generally speaking, at www.budgetgunsandgear.com. I have a presence here on YouTube, obviously, as Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. Matter of fact, just dropped a video on mechanical offset last night, so go check that out.
What happened with that?
Huh?
I saw that one got deleted or something.
Yeah, I stupidly rendered it the first time in 480. So I realized my mistake and took it down and put one up in 1080.
Yeah, I went over there, clicked the video, and it said it's been removed. And I'm like, uh-oh,
Yeah, but I fixed that. There's a good version out there now.
He was unsafe. He was shooting boards, point blank range, and I mean, it was insane.
That was not a board.
I would have banned it too, man. Horrible.
Cardboard, man. I know. Cardboard fragments are hell, right?
Yeah, the midnight range out there talking smack, so shut
up.
Oh,
I know. I know how he really feels. It's okay. He thinks it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Since sliced pancakes?
That's right. Since baking pancakes, anyhow. Anyway, you can find me here on YouTube, on GunStreamer, GunTube, UGEtube, pretty much all of them, Instagram and Facebook. So, go check it out. And thanks a lot again. You guys have a good show.
Take care, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I know that you've got to go. I want to talk real quick about a couple of projects that are going on right now. Artisan Tony's got one that we're going to hook up with a little bit over at 2afun.com. I'm going to put the link out there in the chat. And it's a really cool, awesome thing. It's trying to get people to get out there and shoot, and it's going to be the 2A Spring Challenge, and he's created a target, and I'm going to do a video on it, and it's basically 10 rounds from 21 feet in 20 seconds. 10 rounds in 20 seconds at 21 feet on this target. You can download the target over at 2afun.com, and he's not asking you to post a video. If you want to post a video, you can, but post a video or a picture, and he's going to put it over on 2afun.com. And the 2A Fun, if you guys aren't familiar with it, is a great little thing he started to, he calls them, he calls them supply drops every month. And he gives different organizations that are trying to do good for the 2A, and he helps supports them every month. And so please go help that fund out. The 2afun.com is awesome. Like I said, the link is over there. Get involved. It is springtime. We're trying to get more people out there to shoot. And there is a cash drawing. Someone who puts a video or a picture over on 2A Fun shooting this drill, the picture of the target or whatever, randomly, someone's going to win $100 cash. So if you guys are interested in cash, $100 cash to participate and getting out to shoot, what's more American than that? Getting out to a range on a beautiful day, shoot 10 rounds in 20 seconds from 21 feet, take a picture of your target, submit it, and you could win $100. That's pretty awesome. So thank you for Artisan Tony and the 2A Fund, 2afun.com for doing that. It's awesome. And thanks for allowing me to be part of this. So I'll be doing a video that's being released, I think Thursday. It's going to go in a little bit more detail. And that'll be my also video that will show me shooting. And God, I hope I can hit a target from 21 feet, because if not, then I need to practice more. So anyways, are there any more projects that are out there that we're talking Every Second Matters? Any more projects out there that we need to bring to life that people may not know about?
Probably, but I just wasn't going to say that Every Second Matters is really just an awareness campaign. You kind of briefly talked about at the beginning of the show. It's the second day of the month. The concept started at the end of 2013, and it wasn't randomly. It was because a bunch of us who had been active in these online conversations, very similar to what we've got going on in your chat and on GunChannels, with the basically a schedule of shows that happen on a regular basis. We had this group of people that were actively, keeping a conversation alive, and that was definitely an interesting thing to be a part of. And at the beginning of 2012, with Obama's suggested executive actions, there was a grassroots resistance to that. And if you think of that as like the muscles tightening or the tension growing, at the end of 2013, we saw those muscles relax, and that sigh of relief was palatable, especially in the community of people that were aware of this activism, right? So we wanted to do something to harness that and resist the apathy. So that's specifically when it happened. That's a result of that, and we intentionally built it to be a conversation and nothing more. There's nothing to join. There's no membership or anything. It's just the concept of doing something on the second. No one owns it. There's the logo, and the logo was made by Artisan Tony, you were just talking about, with the 2A Fund. And it was just actually like 2 or 3 conversations that happened over a series of about a month. And that was just sort of a collaborative, it seems like a good logo. It's not super gun-ish. It's not going to be offensive to anyone, and it can spark a conversation. Aside from that, years later, we built a website just to basically help do some of the things that the goal of the whole organization or the whole project is. It's just to amplify and enhance the good work that's already being done. So when we get together on the second of the month, we talk about the things that we might have done individually to work towards Second Amendment awareness. and we talk about the issues like we've done tonight. And we encourage anybody who wants to participate to do anything on the 2nd. You can do it as often as you want, of course, but on the 2nd day to take that, use it as a reminder, as an alarm clock to think, hey, it's been a month since I've put any effort towards the Second Amendment. And if we all did that and we all shared that with other people, like Patriot in the Dark would say, in real life, with the focus on liberty, imagine the change that we'd have, knowing that it only takes 3% of any population to affect change. It doesn't require the majority to agree on anything. All we really need to do is affect some of that and to keep those lines of communication open so that next year, when it's vitally necessary during the elections and all the chaos and all the misunderstandings and the misconceptions that'll be going around, we'll have used these skills and these channels of communication to effectively work together and network so that we become a more useful, effective tool to resist that. And the efforts that we're putting down now are the things that we'll be able to use as reference and resources next year. So I just wanted to reemphasize what Every Second Matters about. I don't want anybody to think that it's some sort of club or like if you missed the show, then you missed it. Because you are Every Second Matters. We all are. It's just the concept of doing something for our Second Amendment and what it protects on the 2nd day of the month. Thanks for the show.
Message from Artisan Tony. He said that he's in his car, couldn't get back in time to get on, but wanted to thank everybody for doing this project and participating. Go to 2afun.com. And I didn't know, G, that Tony's the one that came up with the logo. I love that logo. It's awesome. I had no idea he's the one that came up with it. I guess I've never really asked how it became,
We won't get into the litigation and the crippled legal fees, but I'm coming out of it. And if you buy things from gearwebsites.com, eventually I'll be able to go on the Gun Show Loophole Tour again.
All right, now, G, a buddy of ours, Rod, out there with the gun cleaners out there, says, can we use the Every Second Matters line on T-shirts and etc.?
Well, that's a whole interesting discussion. I don't have the resources to.
Someone does over on another T-shirt place. Just saying.
What's that?
I said I know of one person that uses it without anything on another T-shirt company.
Right. I don't have any resources to sue anybody, and I don't claim it. It's not copyrighted or anything. I hope that it can be an effort or an attempt to share a resource and to, as a community, utilize something that we all agree is no one's. The what do you call it? The money that comes in from the patches goes to a place called Beacon Group here in Tucson that hires the differently abled to do work, and it gives them actual jobs. So when the patches come in, like from the patch batch, they'll just go to Beacon Group. They're priced highly. They're priced at $19.11. It's because they get an adequate chunk of that, and then the rest goes to pay off the patches and I guess to keep the website online. But it's not a money-making thing. Your question was, can we use the logo? There was a lot of discussion on that. Do we want to make it an organization that has a trademarked logo, that has a system of things? I would say it's a free country. Do what you want, and at the same time, respect the concept. And if you think that respecting it is putting it on a T-shirt with a bunch of weird shit or a bunch of like advertising stuff or some weird thing, then what are we going to do? I can't do anything about it. And like you said, I tried to have an agreement with somebody to do something, and he didn't respect my requirements to not disgrace the United States flag, and then he never even paid me for them. So what am I supposed to do? I can say I'm not in a position to sue anybody, but I'm not claiming it's my logo. It's Artisan Tony's. He allows me to use it, and I hope that we can get past all this. It's not even this discussion is anti the concept. The concept is just to be an awareness campaign. If somebody wants to steal the thing or use it and not claim that it's not stolen, I mean, what the hell? That's already more than it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be a reminder to talk about the second and to get past some of the tedious details, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I always will put it on Every Second Matters in a post or whatever. It's none of my business, but I would, if you're going to use a logo, like you said, please just respect it. Respect the logo, respect what it means. just like you would of the American flag. So it is something that took.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not giving anywhere near that reverence. It's just a freaking logo.
I'm just saying, if you're going to respect the flag,
I know what you're saying.
Use something else. You use it for respect. I'm not saying it's like a flag. I'm saying
yeah. I just wanted to definitely.
Oh, shut the hell up, man. Damn Army guys, I tell you, jeez, surrounded by Army guys in this chat. No,
it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
Yeah. Now Tony is in here. Welcome, Artisan Tony.
Hey.
And I want to bring you in here, and I want to let you. I hope I gave it justice, but I want you to talk about the 2A fund in general, but also the spring challenge, if you'd like.
Well, and real quick, I just wanted to say I didn't really design the logo. I was just sitting there while everybody was talking. I was just in GIMP, and I was really just mirroring what they were saying. So it was a group effort. I didn't, I know I appreciate that, G-Webs, but I think we all pretty much came up with the idea. But anyway, I'm sorry. I appreciate the link. I just got back.
Yeah, no worries. And like I said, I'm glad you jumped on. But I want to give you. Can I give you on Every Second Matters? I wanted to let you talk about the 2wayfund.com. That people may not know much about it and what you're doing. So can you, if you want to, you've got the floor for a few minutes, man.
Oh, I know you're trying to close down here. I didn't mean to come in at the last. But
time, man.
I mainly wanted to come in and thank you for helping out with it. I feel much better since you're going to be doing the sort of the drill part of the video. I like that. I like the way you do your drills, and that's kind of what inspired me to do the give. That for April. It's just to do something fun. A lot of times we get so serious in this little group of ours. It's fun to do something just silly and fun once in a while. But yeah, you can download the target. I'm still working on trying to get the target more out front on the website because it's in the download section, and you can just download it. You don't have to make a video. You don't even have to register on the website. If you want to just download the thing and shoot it, and of course you'll show the drill, and you can just take a selfie with your target, or you don't even have to take a selfie. You can just put your channel name on the bottom of the target. There's a place down there, and you can just email it to me. I'll even post it on 2A Fund. There's going to be a category, in the video, the media section on 2afund.com. We'll put it all there, and at the end of the month, we'll do a random drawing. It's not going to be based on, skills, shooting skills, because we all know G-Webs would probably put that one.
Try to get more people to shoot, That's the whole point, is get more people shooting out there. And and it's one of those things in the 2A Fund, not just in this project, the 2A Fund, you've done a remarkable job sending out and supporting different organizations, different projects that are involved within the Second Amendment community. And so, I know that you've helped out a lot of people that we know that, that guy's wife and
but I don't really want to, it's kind of funny because really we need to be talking about who these people are and what they're doing. I mean, honestly, it's like G-Webs. He was the first one I thought of when I started this project this year, and then just other people. So I really just want to stay focused on the people, like Arminta with her guns and gals, and your projects and G-Webs projects, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So I'll get a little embarrassed if you start talking too much about that side of it. I want to focus on.
My friend, too bad. I'm here to embarrass you.
It's like Tony Simon, man. Look at his project. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And seeing what he's doing up there, that's just cool. I'm hoping I can get their guys, his group, to do a little challenge, and enter some of their
little competition.
Yeah, local competition. Yeah. So. Anyway, we're all. The point is, all of you guys are doing a lot of stuff. We're all doing a lot of stuff. It's not, what I mean. It just happens to be the only thing I can do right now, right? And I wanted to break up, instead of doing one big thing a year. I just wanted to break it up into 12 small things.
The concept is awesome. There are people out there that are doing good work that. you know, and we all have gone through times where we thought, man, am I really doing it the right way? Or is this going to work? Is, you know, it doesn't have the support and no one's really helping and all that. And it sounds crazy, but something like what you're doing, and they get, you know, a call or an email from you saying, hey, I really like your project, that can really vitalize, you know, a lot of people's thoughts of what they're trying to do. So I really appreciate what the 2A Fund's doing, what you're doing. And, you know, you're supporting a lot of awesome projects out there. And I know that guy's wife, she had a competition for a logo. And and Tony Simon, they're doing the 2A for everyone, but they're doing the diversity shoot. I think that you even helped out getting them a rifle, did you not? I mean, I know you don't like saying that, but I mean, you know, it's much more than just.
Well, and Keystone Sporting Arms donated half of that. So again, I got to keep the props where it should go, you know. And,
well, we just want to send some props to you as well. So thank you for all that you're doing, bro.
Well, I just gotta say, I mean, you know, look, I mean, G-Web's, you know, as always, G's been people like him and you and Clovertac, you know, you guys are. I don't want this to turn into some big circle fest, but you guys are doing you guys are the ones that are inspiring this kind of stuff, you know.
No, I don't know.
So
about that.
anyway,
G-Webs is one of those guys that.
What I think what Tony's trying to say, Ghost, is you the man. He's just the man behind the man.
I'm going to get the.
I just live in it, bro. I just live in
it. Here, let me tell you something about Trey or Ghost. All right, I hope you don't go. I hope you don't. That's right. That's right. Let me tell you something. I actually offered him the $100 to support his thing, and he wouldn't take it.
That's right.
So that's what I'm talking about. You know. And
I appreciate that so much. And it's one of those things where, and you know, the thought alone was worth much more than $100, Tony. But I think that there are projects out there that are much more valuable than anything that I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be someone out there that gets people to shoot. But I appreciate, you know, like I said, I love it. And just the thought alone was, you know, inspiring enough for me to even thought of. But like I said, man, I'm all for supporting as many people as you can. And you know, thank you for the offer. But like I said, man, that's not me. I try not to, you know, but the thought alone was awesome. And I love what you're doing with the challenge. It is something that I try to do on a monthly basis to get more people out there to shoot and, you know, obviously be more proficient, but getting people out there to shoot. We all remember the first time that we pull a trigger and the exhilaration of pulling a trigger for the first time. And I still believe to this day that that's a great way to get more people on our side that may be indifferent or at least, you know, undecided. Get them to a range and teach them how to safely, but also how to have fun pulling triggers. Who doesn't enjoy that? I mean, who really doesn't enjoy that? So I love what you're trying to do to get more people out there to shoot. And so I'm 100% behind that. My video is going to come out Thursday, doing the drill and all of that good stuff. So thank you for asking me to be involved in this, and I really appreciate you very much.
Thanks for helping. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's kind of start going through room, and we'll start with Tony real quick. And since you're the newcomer to the chat tonight, besides 2afund.com, do you have any other projects, or where can people find you to find out where you are in the social media side?
I've already taken up enough of this time, but you know, 2afund.com. You can always email me at tony@2afund.com if you have any suggestions. You know, love to hear them. And mainly Instagram right now, Artisan Tony on Instagram. But just really digging all the content that everybody's putting out right now on Instagram. I think it's a cool format, and I like it. So that's where I hang out besides YouTube. And GunChannels. I'm sorry. Of course, to me, I kind of think of GunChannels as kind of the staple. It's like,
well, sure.
Yeah, it's like home, and then you go out, you go away. You know, you leave home and go other places, and then you go back. That's kind of what I think of that. So.
Yeah, it's awesome place. Like I said, GunChannels is one of those things where, I mean, that's kind of where a lot of us kind of got started. was before that we were just kind of starting out and we really want to do this, but then we get over to GunChannels and there's that support group and that safety net, if you want to call it. And then you've got people over there that are giving you advice and allowing you to kind of create whatever channel and direction you want to with their support. And so if you're even thinking about, and it's not just for creators, it's for anybody, but if you're thinking about turning the camera on, the GunChannels community is so supportive and they'll help you any way they can. So if you're over there, there's a lot of creators over there that get their start over there. So it's not just for the gun community to have fun talking, but if you're actually thinking about creating, it is a wonderful place to get started. They had the lobby chats that you can kind of cut your teeth on being live on different stuff and talking with other people online. So that's an awesome place. Mike, what about you? I'm going to give you 11 seconds. 11 seconds.
11 seconds. Here we go. Please call me at 803-250-1256 or go to www.m-wtactical.com. The one-stop shop where you can check out everything I'm a part of, and a direct link where you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram or do a search for M-W Tactical to find me. Even a link where you can catch up on the Black Man with the Gun podcast with Kim Blanchard and myself, where you can get your M-W Tactical and Black Man with the Gun swag also by clicking on the store tab. We are also having the LEO training campaign going on right now that you can go donate to at gofundme.com/LEO training to put some officers in training for a year at no charge to them or their department for jiu-jitsu. And also the M-W Tactical channel, where we do various reviews or conversations that we put out every Tuesday on GunStreamer and YouTube. And the M-W Tactical podcast that we put out every Tuesday as well. Go to the link on the website or click on the post that will be posted on the M-W Tactical Facebook page as well. Or do a search on your favorite podcast platform. But most importantly, click on the Patreon link.
Wow. You've added stuff to that, I think.
No, I just kind of took away from some stuff.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about a comment out in the chat, and this is freaking awesome. I love it. Our good buddy Midnight Range team out there. We give him a lot of shit, but he's an awesome dude. It really is. He's a really great guy. He said he started teaching his little man the 4 rules of shooting this morning. He was flipping through the Bass Pro catalog and asked what every gun was and what kind of bullet was each pick. That's awesome. And that's one of those things where this is going to be a time for a lot of people that have young ones that are maybe interested or start showing interest. Try to make it fun. And if they're asking what each gun is and what each bullet is and all of that, that's a great teaching moment there. So that's awesome. Congratulations. And I know that you have not pushed him in that direction, and he's coming to it on his own. And I think that's awesome. So congratulations. And I love hearing stories like that. And Clover Tech is right. Go get Julie Golub's book. It is phenomenal. And if you're out there and you speak Spanish, there is a Spanish version that she collaborated with Gabby Franco to do it in Spanish, but it is a phenomenal book. I have it. Clover's got it. I think a bunch of us have it, and it's a great book on the about child safety and firearms, and maybe how to talk to your kids about safety and firearms as a young child. So every parent should read it. Every kid should read it. It's awesome. So plug on Julie's book. G, what about you? What kind of things that you've got going on? Not just Every Second Matters, but any other projects you got working on right now?
Yeah, we had Every Second Matters. Did a long format show today and invited 50 something people in. You know, there's no perfect time to do it. It's on the 2nd. If you do it in the evening and it's during the week, then that's a set of situations. If it's on the weekend, that's another set of situations. If you do it during the day, you know, different situations, same effect though. So yeah, not a great turnout. So what you guys were talking about, keeping motivated and whatnot, you know. Well, I guess you guys were talking about, we were listening to a podcast earlier that was talking about keeping motivated. So yeah, thanks for the show and for the people that are showing up and the Every Second Matters awareness. And
yeah, thank you for all you do. You say it all the time, but yeah, thank you for all that you do for the community. And you're a good man, buddy. You're a good man. Clover, what about you? You got anything coming up this week? Probably not. You don't do anything.
Nah, I don't do nothing, man. Nothing. Well, I spent a beautiful day. I could have recorded, 10 pieces of content today, but unfortunately, yeah, that's not what I was not what I was doing. But no, I mean, it'll be a pretty typical week. I mean, I've been blessed enough to kind of streamline my process and not get overzealous with things. So there'll be a video drop tomorrow, and then Thursday, of course, is the Nerd Chat. Hadn't figured out the topic on that, but man, there's several different things I want to talk about. We talked about last night on the Instagram podcast. We talked about at least a little bit about Article 13 out of the EU. So I'm not real sure where we're going to go with that just yet. And then Iron Horse Firearms will be on the Friday podcast. So typical week for me.
Awesome. You still have the Nerd Chat on Thursday. Do you have a preview? Do you want to let the preview out of what we might be discussing Thursday night?
Well, that's what I said. I don't know. I mean, I've got a creator meeting.
Being funny,
Well, I have a creator meeting that goes on Thursday. So a lot of times I change that last minute because we discuss something in there, and I'm like, oh snap, we need to talk about that. But right now, I mean, Article 13. There's some things about the whole Article 13 coming out of the EU. They did pass that, and there's some things that kind of worry me. Not that in the firearm niche, not that we get a lot of international. I mean, for most of us, if we go through our analytics, you're looking at maybe 5% or something total is coming from international, maybe if that. So, does it really affect us? And it's more copyright driven. So does that really affect us except for G? Not really. But I don't know. There's some concerns that I've got. I don't want to just kind of give it away what we might talk about, but if we talk about Article 13, we're going to kind of take it down a rabbit hole of, once this becomes the norm, what could happen next type thing. And then there's several other topics of things that are going on in the creator space. So like I said, you never really know until it's time for the show.
Right. As for me, we were going to have, we got Tulsa coming this weekend. We're going to be doing some cool stuff from there. Probably have several lives going on between, there's going to be a lot of people from the Gun Channels community that are going to be there covering it.
See if we can get one banned, right?
See if we can get one banned. Absolutely. There's nothing worse for YouTube than going live at a gun show. It's, but yeah, we'll see what we can do for that. Got Tulsa coming up this weekend, but I'll have a video, like I said, for the 2A Fun on Thursday. That'll be coming out. I've got a couple other videos coming out in the next few days. I'd say by Sunday, I probably have three more videos coming out. So that'll be interesting. And then after Tulsa, we obviously turn our direction towards the NRA show in Indianapolis in a couple more weeks. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to get up there. I didn't really know if I talked about it. My goals, NRA. I've kind of got a game plan in mind. But I always kind of do that game plan, but it always is subject to change on a minute's notice, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of just putting my head down, working, trying to get to some people that I need to see and get some meetings done. But a lot of it is so much more laid back than SHOT Show. So I'm looking forward to seeing other people. And I think Budget's idea was wonderful to maybe talk to a lot of the general public out there and get their point of view of the NRA, but more importantly, ask them what they are doing at the NRA shows, just looking at guns or whatever. But that's an interesting idea as well, and all of that. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you for everyone that's watching live. Make sure you go check out Hit or Miss. They just started a little while ago. The YouTube channel is Night Strike 1 over on GunChannels. It's Hit or Miss. And I'm assuming that Sandy will be doing the 2A Tuesday at the top of the hour. So go check him out. Sandhill Shooter. Great chat over there. 2A Tuesday being every second matters. I can only imagine what that's going to be like. More importantly, guys, go check out everybody on the channel, on the panel's channel. God, say that 10 times. Everyone on the panel, go check out their channels and all of their social media. Go support them. And thank you for all the support. Thank you to all my Patreons. Love you guys. You guys make this possible for me. And I'm looking forward to I'm going to use Braden's line. I got some awesome stuff. No, I'm really looking forward to an awesome 2019. There's some stuff coming down the road that I'm looking forward to doing and getting involved with other people's projects as well. The contacts that I've probably been fortunate to make in the last year and a half have been remarkable. So I'm looking forward. 2019 is going to be a fun year, not just for the Ghost Tactical channel, but for a lot of other people as well. So thank you. If you're watching live, so much thank you. 37 thumbs up. Click them up if you're watching or listening in replay and you have questions, put them in the comments below. We'll try to get them answered. And what I would like to do is, if you're listening or watching in replay or just live in general, make a comment down below and let us know what you do for Every Second Matters. What do you do to spread the gospel of the Second Amendment on Every Second Matters? I would love to hear that. And if you have any questions, once again, please leave in the comments below. And thank you again for watching and or listening. We love you guys, and we will see you next week. Semper Fi.